Growing old is like being increasingly penalized for a crime you haven't committed. Sociologists have a term for the aging people, and they have a term for us. We are the hinge generation. These are the adults who simultaneously have responsibility for their minor children and for their aged parents. It's a relatively new generational demographic that occurs because married couples are having children at a later age, and advances in healthcare allow people to live longer. Instead of an average life expectancy in the upper 60s, it's now more common for people to live into their 70s, 80s, even 90s. While the increase in life expectancy is a wonderful thing, it is accompanied by challenges to traditional family dynamics. There are unspoken and often misunderstood tensions that develop. The logistics of caring for an aging parent often create mounting frustrations for each generation. Both feel imposed upon. It's easy for children to harbor resentment for the care they're required to render to their parents. They quite understandably feel a loss of freedom. They already have a hectic schedule and a calendar full of commitments, taking care of their children, managing a home, pressures on the job, and social obligations. What little free time they once had must now be allocated to caring for a parent. They feel a loss of context. These adult children suffer a loss that relates to their station in life. Up until this point, they've always been able to seek wisdom and comfort from their parents. But now they're deprived of parental guidance, due perhaps to Alzheimer's disease or the introspection and self-centeredness that often accompanies old age. Although they have a parent who is still living, they have no one who assumes the parental role in their lives. The declining capacities of the parents have effectively left these children as orphans. They must mourn the loss of a parental figure in their lives while still attending to the needs of their parents. But these children must also realize that their parents have undergone some pretty huge, drastic changes in their circumstances. Many times it's not a change of their choosing, being forced upon them by declining health. Their physical limitations and diminishing mental acuity can result in a significant restriction of the activities they previously enjoyed. Despite the efforts of their adult children to provide appropriate living arrangements, the older generation feels a loss of independence. Their lives are suddenly defined more by the things they can't do than by the things that they're able to do. There's a loss of dignity. They're well aware of the fact that their loss of freedom places them in a circumstance somewhat similar to a small child. Well, the sociological phenomenon has not caught God off guard. Now, the advances in medical science that contributed to these circumstances do not surprise him, and he is not powerless to bring strength and love into these difficult situations. And he will. Here's a story about aging folks.
He's up and ready to go by 8 a.m. On his way to see his best friend. For 2 years he hasn't missed a stride. To the nursing home to see his lovely bride. For 60 years they've held each other close. Now the time has come to let go. He still recalls the promises they made so long ago on their wedding day. I will always love you. I will be faithful. I will be there through each and every storm. As sure as there's a heaven, Someday she can't remember his name, but she holds on to his hand just the same. They've learned to speak with more than just words, and she knows just what he's saying as he wipes away her tears. I will always love you, I will be faithful, I will be there through each and every storm. As sure as there's a heaven up above, I will always love you, my love. He watched her as she slowly slipped away and said, I'll see you again in heaven someday. He got down on his knees and gave her to the Lord. He kissed her one last time as he whispered the words, I will always love you, I will be faithful, I will be there through each and every storm. As sure as there's a heaven up above, I will always love you, my love. Yes, I will always love you, my love.
Growing old is like being increasingly penalized for a crime you haven't committed. God honors the love that is shown among family members. He really does. Imagine how humbling it must be for a parent to be dependent upon a child for care. What a privilege it is for a child to reciprocate to his or her parent in this fashion. Care for your aged parents with the same love and mercy God has shown you. Faults of parents should not be revisited upon them by their children. So take good care of your parents in their old age. Remember that your children are watching you. Treat your parents in their old age in the manner that you hope to be treated by your own children. I will always love you. The song is called My Love by the group River, and a fine job. Thank you, guys. You're on the journey.